In today's session we will discuss about interrupt controlled data transfer. Control data transfer, how the data is transferred between the processor and peripheral will be discussed in detail. The main objective of the microprocessor design is, first we have to examine the concept of and the process of data transfer. What kind of data we are transferring in processor and peripheral devices, either DMA data transfer or interrupt IO or serial IO. The second one is we have to apply the concept of data transfer to interfacing. The next one we have to synthesize the concept of microprocessor architecture and software and interfacing, because the design and the softwares everything is varied for the various architecture. During the data transfer, sometimes the microprocessor is more speed than the peripheral devices, or the peripheral devices may be slower than or speed than the higher speed than the processor. So, during that time how the processor balance the data transfer with the peripheral devices, what kind of data is transmitted, in what mode we are transferring the data will be clearly given in the chart. This chart specifies what kind of data is transferred between the peripheral and the processor. The first one is transmission format. In the transmission format, it is classified as synchronous and asynchronous data transmission. A synchronous data transmission means the receiver and the transmitter are synchronized with the same clock pulse, that is the microprocessor and peripherals are operated with the same clock pulse. The synchronous data transfer is mostly used for the high speed of data transmission. The another one is asynchronous data transfer. In the asynchronous data transfer, the receiver and transmitter are operated with the different clock pulse, that is it is interfaced with the irregular intervals. The microprocessor and peripherals are operating with the different clock pulse. This kind of asynchronous data transmission is used for the slow data transmissions. Generally the microprocessor perform the asynchronous data transmission. This is a transmission format, either synchronous or asynchronous. The another one is mode of data transfer. Mode of data transfer means how the data is transferred between the peripheral and processor. It has two kinds, one is parallel data, another one is serial data. In parallel data means the number of lines are interfaced between the processor and peripheral devices. The interfacing lines may be 8 bit, 4 bit or 16 bits. Based on the processor type, the number of lines are interfaced or connected to the peripheral devices. So, 8 bit processor means 8 lines are connected, 16 bit processor means 16 lines are connected. Can you give an example for 8 bit processor? Yes, 8085 is a 8 bit processor. So, here we are discussing with that 8085 with 8 line interfacing. Have you heard about a 4 bit processor? Is it available? Yes, 4 bit processor is a first microprocessor which a number is 4004. 4004 is the 4 bit processor. Initially they were started the transmission with 4 bit, then 8 bit, that is called as a byte, then they are communicate with the 16 bit which is called as a word. So, this diagram shows the parallel communication between the microprocessor and peripheral devices. Now, the microprocessor have a 8 bit data because this is a 8085 microprocessor. So, these 8 lines will be transmitted to the peripheral device by the 8 lines. So, by applying a single pulse, the 8 data are transmitted to the peripheral devices. This is a parallel communication. So, by applying a single pulse, whatever the 8 bits available in the microprocessor is simply transferred to the peripheral device. The same kind also possible for read operation from peripheral to microprocessor. So, most commonly the parallel communication is used in the keyboards, 7 segment LEDs, data converters and memory. The another one is serial data transfer. In the serial data transfer, the processor and peripheral devices are connected over a single line. In the single line, the data is transmitted by bit transmissions, that is only one bit is transmitted at a time. Usually the microprocessor is performing the parallel communication, but when it communicate with the peripheral devices, it will send the only serial data. So, during that time the microprocessor convert its parallel data into the serial or convert the parallel data into the stream of bits. The bits will be transmitted bit by bit. This is called as a parallel to serial conversion. So, during the receiving of data, the number of bits are received and stored in the buffer. When the buffer is full, it will interrupt the microprocessor to take the data from the buffer. Now, the serial data is converted to the parallel, then the parallel data is transferred to the microprocessor. This kind of data transmission is called as a serial to parallel conversions. That is, during the transmission, it will use the parallel to serial conversion. During the receiving, it will convert serial to parallel conversions. So, these two conversions also performed in the serial communication. So, serial communication means bit by bit transmission. By a single pulse, only one bit is transmitted. So, this diagram will show the serial communication. So, here we have 8 bits which are converted. After converting parallel to serial, we have bits of streams. So, by applying a single pulse, the first bit is transmitted to the peripheral device. By applying a second pulse, the second bit is transmitted. Then by applying the third pulse, the third bit is transmitted. So, by applying number of pulses, the number of bits are transmitted. Suppose you want to transmit 8 bits, you have to apply the 8 pulses. That is why the serial communication is slower than the parallel communication. So, the serial communication is mostly used in CRT terminals, that is cathode ray tube terminals, printers, cassette tapes and modems. Modem is nothing but a modulator and demodulator, which is used for the receiving and transmitting the data. The another one is types of I/O. The types of I/O means how the microprocessors read or write the data with the peripheral devices or memory. It can perform with either memory or with the I/O devices. When it is performed with I/O devices, this is called as a peripheral I/O. When it is perform the operations with the memory, it is called as a memory mapped I/O. In the peripheral I/O, the microprocessor read the data from the peripheral device and write the data into the peripheral devices. So, for this kind of read and write operation, it has two instructions, in and out instructions. These two are 2-byte instructions. In the 2-byte, the first byte is a opcode, the second byte is a operand. Operand specifies the port number or the port address. So, totally 256 ports are available in the microprocessor 8085. So, it will communicate with any one of the ports for read operation or write operations. The in instruction is used for read the data from the peripheral devices to the accumulator, and the out instruction is used for send the data from accumulator to the output devices. So, this is the format of in instruction in 57H. So, this is a 2-byte instruction. The in is opcode, 57 is the port number or port address. So, during the execution of this instruction, the data is read from the specified port address, which is for 57, the data is moved to the accumulator. Meaning of in instruction is the content is transferred from the specified port address 57 to the accumulator. The out instruction is used for write operation, which is used to write the data of accumulator to the specified port address, which is 36. So, in this instruction, the 36 represents port number or port address of the output device. So, during the execution, the content of the accumulator is transferred or stored into the specified port address, which is 36. The another one is memory mapped I/O. In the memory mapped I/O means the processor is performed with memory for read and write operation. So, for this it has a 16-bit address. By using the 16-bit address, it will read or write the data. So, for that it have two signals, memory read and memory write signals. The memory read is used to read the data from the memory write signal is used to write the data into the memory. So, for that it have 4 special instructions which is used for performing the read and write operation. One is LDA instruction, another one is SDA, LDAX, SDAX, move A, M and move R, M. So, these 6 instructions used for the transferring of data between the memory and the microprocessor. The LDA instruction, LDA 16-bit address, which instruction is used to read the data from the specified address and stored into the accumulator, or from memory to accumulator the data is processed. So, the LDA is used for read operation. STA instruction is used for store the data or send the data from accumulator to the specified address. The remaining 4 instructions are indirectly specifying the memory address, which is used to perform the memory read and write operations. So, these are the 6 instructions, which is LDA, load accumulator direct. with the 4500. The 4500 is a memory address because this is a 16 bit address. So, during the execution of this instruction, the content of 4500 is transferred to the accumulator, that is why it called as a read operation. STA 4000H, 4000 is a memory address. So, during the execution of this, the accumulated content is transferred to the specified memory location. So, this is a write operation which is used to store the data. In these two instructions, the memory address is directly specified in the instruction, that is why it called as a direct addressing. Then remaining 4 instructions, which is STAXD, D is represents DE register pair. Here the 4500 is stored in the register pair. Instead of specifying address, here we are specifying only the register. So, from the register it will read the data and store to the accumulator. The same thing here also, this is for store the instruction, LDAX for read the data and store into the specified address. So, these two are the indirect addressing mode. These two move A, M, move M, A is used for read the data from memory to accumulator or send the data from memory to the accumulator. These 4 instructions are used. Generally the 8085 is a 8 bit processor, but we are performing with the 16 bit operations. So, during that time we are combining the registers as register pair. Totally we have a 6 8 bit registers which are BC, D, E, H and L. These registers are grouped as 2 8 bit registers, which is called as a register pair. So, BC register pair, DE as a register pair, H and L as a register pair. So, for the indirect addressing SDAX, LDAX, you can use either BC register pair or DE register pair. The HL register pair is only used for the memory content. The last 2 instructions move A, M and M, A is used with the HL register pair instructions. So, these 4 instructions are operated with memory, but the address is not specified in the instruction, that is why it called as the indirect addressing. So, the next one is condition of data transfer. Condition of data transfer. So, based on the conditions what kind of data is available or either speed or slow with the peripheral devices, it has a 2 kind of operations. One is a microprocessor controlled operation, another one is a device controlled operation. In the microprocessor controlled operation, it will perform the 5 conditions. Peripheral devices communicate with the microprocessor either with a slow data transfer or higher speed of data transmission. So, during that time how the microprocessor control the transmission of data between the microprocessor and peripheral. So, in the microprocessor during the transmission how it will perform the 5 different conditions will be explained. The first one is unconditional data transfer. In unconditional data transfer, the microprocessor transmit the data to the output device. The microprocessor felt that the output device always is connected. So, it simply transmit without checking the ports of the output. So, it is like a simple go instruction, jump instructions, which are the unconditional data transfer. So, during this execution, the microprocessor suppose want to emit or out some data to the output device of LED, it simply transmit the out by using the out signal, it simply transmit the signal to the output device by activating the output port. This is the unconditional data transfer. The another one is polling. In the polling IO, during the transmission of a microprocessor, the microprocessor is within the loop. So, it oftenly check whether the data is available on the port. So, that is why it called as a polling, or it also called as a status check. So, microprocessor is continuously monitor the peripheral device whether the data is available or not. For example, the keyboard is connected with the microprocessor, the microprocessor keeps on checking the keys from the keyboard if any keys are pressed or not. Till the keys are pressed, it will continuously monitor and read the status of the keyboard, that is the polling. So, during this kind of polling, more data, that is time is wasted and repeatedly it read the same data. The another one is interrupt IO. In the interrupt IO, the data is serviced by the processor on the demand basis. When the peripheral have the data which is completed for the transmission, then it will interrupt the microprocessor. Now, the microprocessor complete its work, then switch over to the location where it want to read the data or write the data. it will complete its task, then it return back to the proper place or main program. So, during that time the microprocessor is do its current work without often check and also without wasting of the time it will perform, that is the interrupt control. The another one is with ready signal. With ready signal is when the processor is connected to the peripheral devices, when the peripheral devices is much slower than the processor, then the processor have to balance the data transmission between the microprocessor and the peripheral device. That time it will insert the ready signals, it is nothing but the wait states. The wait states is inserted. So, by using the wait states, now the speed of data transmission is balanced from the peripheral and the microprocessor, or the microprocessor allow the enough time to the peripheral devices to transmit the data. So, how they are adding the waiting time means the data transmission is explained by the timing diagrams. So, the timing diagram consists of number of machine cycles, each machine cycle have a 3 T states. So, after the T2 state, the T1 is used mostly for demultiplexing address and data lines. In the part of T2 only we are starting read or write operations. So, after the T2 state it will insert the number of wait states to balance the read operations. So, after getting the data it will complete the read operations or it will complete the write operations. So, after the number of wait states it will add the T3 states. So, to balance the read operations, suppose you want to insert the 2 waiting states means T1, T2, then TW, TW, then T3 states are added. So, the number of waiting states inserted between the T2 and T3. So, by inserting the wait signals or by inserting the ready signals, it will balance the data transmission. The another one is a handshake signal. In the handshake signal IO, because it will have the acknowledgement signal whether the data is transmitted or the data is received. That is why it called as a handshake signals. So, during that data transmissions, it will be explained with the one simple example. Suppose the microprocessor is connected with the A to D converter. A to D converter is analog to digital converter. Generally, the analog to digital converter takes time to conversion. So, the analog signal is instantaneous converted into the sample signal. The sample signals are again quantized, then only we are converting into the digital signals. So, during the time process, after the end of conversion, it will activate the EOC signal. EOC signal is end of conversion. So, after the analog signal is converted into the digital, now the digital data is available on the buffer, now it will activate the EOC signals. So, this is a simple ADC process. How the ADC is processed with the peripheral means, suppose it has connected with the status check. In the status check, during the every seconds it will check the status of the ADC converter. This is a status check. So, during this mode of data transfer, the microprocessor oftenly check for every 1 millisecond, it will check the status of the ADC, whether the data is converted or not. So, repeatedly it will read the wrong data also, that is the status check. The same thing is implemented by the interrupt controlled IO. So, now the EOC end of conversion signal is connected to the any one of the interrupt in 8085. When the EOC signal is high, which represents the data conversion is over, then it will send the signal to the interrupt. Now, the interrupt will interrupt the processor. Now, the processor come and take the bring the corresponding digital data for the data manipulations. So, the processor will do the regular work without any sufferings, it will read, that is the on the demand basis it will read the data. In case of status check, continuously it will monitor. So, it the processor within the loop it couldn't do the another work. That is the difference between the interrupt IO and status check IO. The last in the data transfer is device controlled. Device controlled IO transfer means now how the data is transferred between peripheral and processor is now monitored by the external device. So, when we are using the external device for data transfer means when the peripheral wants a bulk of data or the speed of data to transfer to the memory. So, that time it will use the external device, that device is DMA controller. DMA means direct memory access. Generally the peripheral want to store the data or read the data into the memory means via the processor it will perform the read and write operations. in the DMA operations, the peripheral can directly access the memory without using the microprocessor. That is why it called as a direct memory access. So, for that the microprocessor have a two signals, hold and hold acknowledgement signals. So, by using these two signals, when the peripheral want to use a bulk of data or the speed of data transmissions, it will activate the hold signal. After getting the hold signal, now the processor release the control of the bus. Before releasing the control of the bus, it will give the address, starting address of the data transfer, then how much of data you want to transmit, that is a counter or byte. These two values are connected to the DMA controller. After sending the enough informations, now it will release the control of the bus, it will send the acknowledgement signal to the peripheral device. So, after getting the address and the byte, now the DMA controller is the master. He is responsible for the data transmissions between the peripheral and the memory. So, after getting the acknowledgement signal to the peripheral device, now the peripheral device send the data to the DMA controller, then the DMA controller to the memory. This is the way the data is transmitted. So, during the every transmission, the DMA controller, the counter value is decreased by 1. At the value of 0, it represents the data transmission is over. Now, it activate the low signal and the hold signal. It represents the DMA operation is over. The DMA controller release the control of the bus. The microprocessor again get the control of the bus. The same thing explained with the small animation. So, this is a DMA operation. In the DMA, this is a normal operation, how the peripheral is communicate with the memory via the microprocessor. Suppose the peripheral want to store the data to the memory, first it will send the signal to the microprocessor, then microprocessor to the memory. Suppose you want to read the data from the memory, first the memory send the data to the microprocessor, then microprocessor to the peripheral devices. This is the normal mode of data transmissions. Suppose the peripheral device have a bulk of data, then it will send the hold signal. These two signals available in the microprocessor for the DMA operations. Now, it will activate high signal on the hold. So, after receiving the high signal, the microprocessor send the starting address and the counter value to the DMA controller. After sending these two enough informations, now the microcontroller send the HLDA signal to the peripheral devices. So, after getting the acknowledgement signal, now all the control is passed to the DMA controller, microprocessor is released from the control of the bus. So, now the DMA controller is the master of the data transfer. So, now the peripheral device transmit the data to the memory via the DMA controller. That is why it called as a device controller. Externally, one device is used for controlling the data transfer between peripheral and memory. This chart will summarize the data transmission between the memory and the peripheral devices, what kind of data transmission, what mode of data transmission, then what are the types of IO with the different conditions of the data transfers was very clearly given in the chart. Next one is the polling. Polling means when the processor is connected with the peripheral device, when the processor is very faster than the peripheral device, then it has to wait for the long time. So, during the waiting time, it oftenly check the status of the peripheral devices, that is called as a polling. Oftenly it will read the or repeatedly it read the status of the peripheral devices. This is a polling. To check the status of the IO device, they are using the memory mapped IO devices. So, the polling word comes from the politics. Polling process is mostly used for the slower IO devices. So, the polling is a contrast to the interrupt IO, because the interrupt is on the demand basis, polled IO is a continuously monitoring the status of the IO devices. So, they are comparing the both controlled IO and the interrupt IO. In the interrupt IO, the CPU works on its given task continuously. When an interrupt is available, such as some keys are pressed on the keyboard, then the microprocessor the CPU is interrupted from its work and take care of the input data. Now, it will read the data from the keyboard. In polled IO, the CPU continuously polls or checks the IO devices in the program loop, it waiting for the next input. Now, the microprocessor could not do any other work. So, the interrupt IO it is a fast and efficient. In polled I/O, it is a slow and inefficient. In the interrupt I/O, it is difficult to program and also understand by the user, because the driver program is written by the hardware manufacturer, that is example Microsoft. In polled I/O, the user can easily write the program and also understand the program. In interrupt I/O, it requires some extra smart system or external hardwares in the form of electronic circuitry at the I/O devices, so that it can send the interrupt signal to the CPU. To activate the interrupt signal, we are adding some external hardware devices. In polled I/O, it continuously monitors, so no need of the external hardware circuit to make the attentions. In interrupt I/O, it is on demand based services, so the time is saved. In polled I/O, every time it has to check, so it has to wait for more time, so here the time is wasted. No need of a regular check in interrupt I/O. In polled I/O, the CPU must regularly check. In interrupt I/O, it requires more complex hardware and software. In polled I/O, within the hardware circuit, it will monitor the status. So, in today's session, we will discuss the data transfer between the microprocessor and peripheral. It may be either with a synchronous or asynchronous, or either in parallel mode or serial mode, or it may be with a memory mapped I/O or a standard I/O. In what way it will transmit the data between the peripheral and processor. Along with that, 5 conditions are discussed in detail. In today's question session, what are the types of modes of data transfer? Write the difference between polled I/O and interrupt controlled I/O. The next question is, draw the chart of data transfer with peripheral and explain in detail. Thank you.